What's going on, guys? So today on the SHOKY reviews, we're going to look at the Scramble Gundam from the Gundam Build Fighters Tri-Island Wars, the longest title. Oh, jeez. And you guys know, of course, we've already done the couple live streams to watch this thing get built, and it's a lot of fun. The live streams... First live stream for building this guy was really crazy. The second live stream, I apologize, guys. My internet was just being non-existent. No idea what happened, but, you know, it just sucked. So, it doesn't matter. We're going to look at this guy now, and that's really the cool part. So, we get a great shot of the Scramble Gundam right here on the front, and if anybody knows why it's called the Scramble Gundam, see if you can let me know. Because it didn't have a name as far as we knew in the actual OVA episode. I don't think they ever called it anything but our new model, something like that. But maybe it's because it looks like a scrambled bunch of other Gundams. I don't know. Because it definitely takes some inspiration from several other Gundams that currently exist. But yeah, here you get a great shot of it here, and it's just beefed out mode here. And here you got it in its rather dumb flying mode, realistically. One thing you don't see is like all the crazy crap that happened in the actual movie, you know, where it turned purple and it was summoning everything and had full control of everything. It was really, really crazy. And also it sucks they never gave you like an option set to make these all purple. Oh well, doesn't matter. So it says Scramble Gundam here, Yajima Engineering Custom Made Mobile Suit. So this was made by Niels Nielsen and his team, because they needed to test out a new form of Plavsky crystal. So, and we've got Bandai 2016. Once again, this is one of those ones I wish I'd finished in 2016, so I could have had it with the best and worst kits. It would have been pretty cool. So, let's come to the bottom, and you get weapons, things you can't read. So, clearly beam sabers and arm-mounted cannons. I'm guessing this is saying it can do cannon-y things, and beam saber do beam sabey things. You got flight mode, which is dumb, though I like it's got it on the cool GP base stand. I used to have one of those, but I gave it to a friend of mine because it just didn't fit with my display. Now I sort of wish I still had some, but yeah. Here you have it in mobile suit mode. Action and transform! Yay, okay. And you've got it down here. Just, I don't know, it's just showing off the Kamiki burning with it. That's pretty cool. Actually, that's a nice little stance. Come to the side, you got HG Build Fighters, Bandai Hobby.net, number 47, Scramble Gundam, and it's, you know, orange. Come to the back, and you get obligatory front and rear shot. Is it me or is it having a hard time focusing? Anyways, it actually does look purple, right? Anyways, coming over here, you get a little read-up on it there. The BN876 should be 19.9 meters tall, 66.2 tons. That's not true, because it's only that big. It's the size of an HG. They're lying. And, of course, here's the actual advertisement for the Build Fighters Tri-Story, Gundam-BF.net. Go check it out. And then you got a warning over here. Scramble Gundams will hurt your 3-year-old's face. Do not insert. And then... things in the box probably don't taste good. Don't need them. Probably ages 8 and up. 2,200 yen. Little expensive, but there's a lot with this kit, so it's kind of okay. And then you've got illustration is by Koma. Background image is by Yamamoto Hiroyuki. A couple of my favorite artists. And yeah, it looks pretty cool. Focus. There we go. What is with my autofocus today? So, let's go ahead and hit the time-lapse. Yay for time-lapse. We haven't had one of those in a little while, guys. So, let's do that. Alright guys, now we've got the Scramble Gundam, all nice and built here, and looking very much creamsicle, because that's everybody's joke. It is the creamsicle Gundam, and it is very white and very orange. Very definite color separation here. Other than the different suits from 00, this is about the most orange Gundam I've ever built. It is crazy. Though I will say, I started out not wondering if I'd like this thing at all, just because I've heard so many negative comments about it. I actually really ended up digging this, and it did take quite a bit of work to really make it right and perfect. You guys know this. If you watched the live stream, you saw how much painting I had to do on this. I really wish even if they had given you the amount of stickers you would have needed to make it more accurate, but otherwise it's not too bad. I like the fact you do get the cool blue clear crystal-y bits. So you got the knees, the chest, the top of the groin, shoulders, and the wingtips, and of course the arms underneath there. Though some of them are a pain in the butt. These little guys like to fall out. Mine are actually probably only held in by the fact I added a little bit of paint. So that's one of the details that I did do. Underneath these guys, I just added a little bit of metallic blue paint. You can sort of see it like against that. On the legs, you can see it a little bit better just looking through there, just to give it a little bit of effect. I know some people have even gone to the lengths of filling each one of these with some like blue metallic glitter glue, and that's actually a pretty awesome idea. I wish I had actually done that maybe, but you know, these can always remove to be done again. Actually, with the exception of the arms, I had to glue the arm ones on because these cool cannons actually kind of knock them off. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk some specific details. So you do get the cool blue parts all over this thing. Like I said, you've got some nice metallic bits behind it. But you do get some stickers. So you do get some eyes sticker, really hard to see right up in there. Oddly enough, you don't get a sticker for the camera, but it is all a blue plastic. So it's actually pretty neat. I would have liked just maybe a little bit of reflectiveness in there. Now, other stickers you do get, because it's very, very minor, you get these down here for the leg thrusters. Now, on this, if you guys watched the live stream, I added only these two. Now, if you're wondering why it looks that way, it's because there should be a little bit of a barrier. But I wanted to show the difference between just go ahead and using the stickers and trying to do it with paint. So, obviously, this isn't the best job I've ever done, but honestly, it's not terrible. I might actually go back in later and just use the other two stickers. I always save those things. Now, there is one thing with this. You do have to be careful when putting in any of these little plastic guys, because anytime you have clear plastic, it's not the strongest thing, and they all have little tabs that all have to line up just right, and you never want to force any of them. Now, the thing that this thing really required was a ton of paint on all of the thrusters. So if you watched it, all of these back here, these back thrusters on the legs, the thruster right here on the butt, these little side skirt vents, in fact, the entire inside of these ankles, all of that had to be painted. This thruster up here, all had to be painted with my favoriteest dark gray ever. So if you guys were watching the live stream, you saw me how I was doing it, just a little bit of thinner with the paint to apply it. You know, and it's a little sloppy in some places, so you see a little bit of overdone, but I actually think I did a decent job. Now, the other place you need it is inside the legs on these vents. That came out a little bit nicer. And then also inside here. Now, obviously, these bits just plug in so you don't, you know, you can leave them off if you really want to, but this is actually pretty clean. Not gonna lie, I did a decent job there. That's where we're using a very, very tiny brush, and that thinned out paint came in really, really handy, guys. But yeah, so I mean, I really do dig this, guys, but a lot of those details, like I said, you had to paint. I mean, even if it gave you stickers for it, I would have appreciated it. Now, one thing I did, and that I actually regret, was I added a little bit of the silver, or I'm sorry, blue paint right here on the tip of this guy, and I ended up taking most of it off. It ended up coming out really, really bad and gross, and it just looks sloppy. I should have just left it alone to begin with, but you know, it is what it is. If I can clean it up a little bit more, because once again, these just slide right off. I can probably go back and clean it up some more. So, more or less, this is how he looks kind of in his base mode, like before he does anything. And you guys can tell, yeah, he's got a lot of design aspects, very similar to like the Zeta or the REGZ. Very similar design there, even maybe taking some aspects of the lightning, perhaps, some of those transforming gimmicks there. He's also got definitely a very Zeta-like head going on here. That thing's just really cool. However, the wings are screaming freedom, like hardcore, especially with the outside that moves around a lot like that. That's definitely a freedom gimmick. Now, all the crystals, that's definitely screaming anything that Yorisei had made basically after the build strike, because he needed all of that extra Plasky storage and emitters. So that thing is, of course, very similar to some of his things, like the build burning, the try burning, that new one from the new upcoming movie that we don't even know the name of. So all that cool crystalline effects going on there. So yeah, I mean, I really, really do dig this thing. But it's not without its problems. Most of them come in with the transformation gimmick, but we'll look at that in a bit. Let's look at accessories first. Now you'll notice that I took off the arm cannons. So you do just get these little guys like so. And I first thought that this was going to be a paintable part. It's not. It actually does just plug in. Very nice little gray molded piece. This is just 4 little pieces. Same thing with this. You know, they could have easily made this all essentially just 2 pieces and you would have had to paint. But I did have to paint right there inside that vent. Once again, came out pretty decent. I'm learning as I go, guys. Panel lining, yay for that. Of course, you do get both of them. Yay for that. And they do just plug. They don't really clip on. They just kind of slide on over the arm, the forearm emitters, like so. And you can do them vertical or facing downward. It just depends, because the wings tend to get in the way if you do them like so. Although that is a pretty neat look. I did say to a couple of guys last night, this thing with a little bit of tweaking and some different wings would probably make a very cool, like, Transformers Seeker mold, because you got kind of the chest here with the cockpit section, and you got the big cannons hanging down there. So if anybody really wants to go crazy and do something like that, by all means, I think it would be cool. Now he does have 2 other tiny accessories. He gets beam saber blades, because he does have some cool beam sabers. They are just tucked in right here. Very simple little beam saber. So you just plug it in. I like the square ones more than I like the round ones. And then you can just insert into the hand like so. And of course, you can have him holding both and just looking awesome. Now he does come with one more accessory, this little clippy, but it's not going to come into effect until we put him in flight mode. But let's go over articulation before we do that. So you get head articulation as you usually do. Now, I thought he used the original, like, double ball joint head, but he doesn't. There was actually an actual piece for it. So it's a very similar thing, but it's actually made of plastic, not polycap material. So you get a little bit of a turkey neck going on there. You can rotate, but not all the way around. His big old chin gets in the way, realistically. So he can't turn all the way, but he can get a nice bit of rotation. I need to raise the camera up just a little. Now for shoulders, standard polycap, kind of captured shoulder there. So we get some good shrug, so he can be like, yeah, yeah. All right. And if you move the wings back just a little bit, you get full rotation all the way around. I'm going to pop this gun off just for a second. Now you do get some good up and down shoulder movement, so you get to about there, and then you can rotate the hand all the way up. And now you can turn it. Wait, hold on. Then you turn it. There we go. All the way up, so you get some bicep rotation, and then you get a high kneels. Hi, Niels. Hi, I'm destroying your lab. Anyways, so the cool thing is this guy has multiple modes of articulation in the arm. So you get bicep rotation. Very stiff, but it works. I like that. You get a nice elbow there. Do believe it's just single jointed. Or just mildly double. Yeah, it's mildly double jointed. So it's got a big joint here, little joint down there. But it has one of my favoriteest things ever. It has bicep rotation. Every kit should have this, guys. Every single stinking kit. So you can get amazing curls. Look at that. That is great articulation, guys. That's one of the things I absolutely praise about the Gundam Age 1 Master Grade. Forearm rotation. It gives you so much more in the way of poseability, especially when you've got like a big forearm armor or something like that. And then you couple that with your hand rotation, you can get into all kinds of trouble. So you can get a really wide and stupid stance, and you get elbow articulation while you're at it. That's just sick, guys. Just awesome. It's one of the better kits. One thing about build fighters, most of them are incredibly articulated, and I love it. Now you do get waist rotation, not a whole lot, because he does hit all of that armor. You would get a little bit of crunch, but you don't. So it should, but I mean, that's just the ball joints sort of wiggly waggling. You get only a little bit of side skirt articulation, so we're going to not be able to do much of a Jean-Claude. So without the side skirts being enormous, you probably could. If I could rotate them out of the way, maybe. Or just take it off entirely? No. Okay. I'm just not going to bother. He doesn't need to do the splits, guys. Though the front skirts, I did separate them. You don't have to, as usual, but, you kind of want to. Now, he does get the cool swing out or swingy hips, so you can move the actual hip inside. It can turn. It's actually kind of annoying when it does it when you don't want to. But you do get some nice thigh rotation. Pull out far enough, you could probably go all the way around. But, why do you need your thighs to go all the way around? He can kick forward, nice and far. He can go back, only there, because the butt skirt does not move. Now, the knees are double jointed, but they also have, if you can notice, a big cutout there because flying transformation. Now, I've never had one that actually the knees function this way, at least the way that they're put together. Actually, assembling the knee itself left me very uncomfortable. I did not dig it. So, it scares me for the future of breakage. But not out of just whatever, but, tweaking it too far, things like that. That's my only real concern. Now you come down to the feet. You got a nice big ankle joint way up here, so you can go waggly waggly. Nice toe kick, like so. You can go side to side pivoting. And you get massive toe point for transformation. And then that armor, of course, does move just like that. So, of course, that is all for transformation. But since we're already down here, let's go ahead and start that transformation. Go ahead and point the toe, slide that down out of the way, and push that down. Now, you don't have to have them exactly in that position, but you may as well. Now, we come to the knee, and you take advantage of that reverse knee joint, like almost any and all flyers do. So you got a Z formation, just like that. Just like if you wanted to Z channel your the frame of your truck to lower it. That kind of situation. Though the cool thing is it doesn't have the dumb locking mechanism, so you can articulate it without having to mess things up. Does that actually go inside that? It did on this foot. Hold on, let's see here. I may have accidentally stumbled on something. Oh, look at that, guys. Look at that. Didn't even know it could do that, but it's awesome. Now, the one thing that does suck versus, say, like a Wing Gundam, you just rotate at the main waist. This one you have to separate and then put back together. So that polycap is going to get very worn out from a lot of transformations. You just watch. Now, the cool thing is the back skirt does have a cutout right there for that armor to go in. Now, you want to pop off the cannons because you're not going to need those. Arms are just going to go straight down at his sides because he doesn't do anything with his arms in this mode. They don't even get a landing, legs or nothing. So, he's not really a bird, so to speak. He's just a thing. The head just, whatever, just tilts down. So, we come to the back, lay down the wings. You take the big wing tip and you move it forward. Just kind of even out the gap just a little bit. It doesn't have a set range. You just want to spread it out just enough. So, you get that motion. Now this is definitely the stupidest part. You take the cannon and you just plug it on right there. It just goes right on top of the backpack. No rhyme or reason, just chills right there. And now we come to that little clippy clip. This guy. So this will clip on this. So you rack it around the top and then you tab it underneath. And see how it just kind of perfectly Goes around like so. Guess what that's for? The other cannon. Because you need a cannon that faces backwards. Right? Right. And there we have Scrambler in his weird flight mode. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything. It's kind of like a crane, I think is what they were going for. So you get this big thing going on here, and you got the wings all nice and spread out. It's cool, but dumb. It's definitely one of the dumbest flying ones ever. I mean, it only did this for like one scene in the movie, and that was right before it got beat down. Now, you do get the crotch peg down there for a flight stand, or any kind of stand, and boom, we happen to have one. So let's plug it in and see this guy flying. Yay, right? Yay. It does things. It's okay, guys. Now let's see. Let's raise up the camera just a little bit and see if we can get at least a decent looking pose. Probably not, because this is definitely the weakest form. I mean, it's not bad, but you kind of have to look at it like this to really make an effect out of it. And it just meh. It's definitely the meh Gundam of flying. But consequently, this is how I actually prefer to do it. So you just take the cannons, you leave them back on the arms, and you know, if you even them out a little bit, it's actually a little bit better off. He's rotating on the stand, and so you can just kind of have the cannons facing forward. I think that is a slightly better look. I guess they were going for more of a bird shape. That's why you put the cannons up here, but I find that stupid. They should have just given him a shield, done it full wing, given him a shield that clipped on over here, and then left the guns facing like that. I think it's just a cooler option. So if you want to do it like that, I mean, it's your model. Display it how you want. Play with it how you want. You know, it is what it is, guys. So for final thoughts, guys, yeah, I definitely recommend this kit. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely different, and it was one of the first all new kits for Build Fighters. It wasn't based off of anything before it. So this guy is an all original. While the design itself might borrow from a lot of other things, it in itself as a kit was brand new. It does have its limitations. You are going to have to paint quite a bit, at least if you want the details, but you could do some fun customizing with it if you really want to. I've seen some fun recolors of this. Saw a blue recolor of it more towards the Freedom color scheme, and it looked fantastic. And you know, if you really wanted to take it and repaint the crystals all a different color, if you wanted to go that far, by all means do that. But it's a fun kit. I think for roughly $25, it's actually a good buy. I really do dig this. I really like most of the Build Fighters line. If you guys want to see more of the Build Fighters line, I have some in the backlog, along with quite a few more to still look at. But that's going to be it for this review of the Scramble Gundam from Gundam Build Fighters Tri Island Wars, because long titles, guys. And I would like to thank SteelAngelJohn and Andy Tubbs for your patronage of my first 2 patrons on Patreon, guys. If you don't know about the Shoky Reviews Patreon, go back and watch that video. It'll be in the end credits here. And I'd also like to thank Anthony and Steven for posting a couple pics on the Shoky Reviews Facebook. Really cool kits, guys. If you guys want to share your stuff on the Shoky Reviews Facebook, just go to the page, hit post, whatever it says, and throw down some pics of your latest creations. I want to see them. And remember, as always, guys, keep on building.